Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Let's freaking go. We are going over how to use your feminine energy in sales today. So as everyone's popping in, just drop below your industry. Where do you sell? Where in the world are you coming from today? I want to make sure that this is the most relevant as possible. And it also is going to help you specifically with what you do. Because what I see all the time, especially from women, is that they get tired, they burn out. They're exhausted. And it's typically because they're doing things in a very masculine way to get things done. And that's not necessarily always fair. So it's important that we start to learn the tools that are necessary in order for us to be really successful at every single thing that we do. That's okay. So I remember, let me take you back to my early sales days. I was in B2B sales as B2C sales. I did ticket sales. I did all these different types of sales, selling huge, six-figure deals, $175,000 deals, to selling just random high ticket all over the place. And what I did is I sold my ass off. I worked so hard. And sometimes I would be sitting in my car at the end of the day and I would just feel freaking pissed because I'm sitting in my car after a sales call that did not close again. And I did everything right. I followed the script. I overcame every sales objection. Like I said all the right things. And still, it felt freaking off. Like it wasn't just a call. I felt off. I felt like I was trying to become somebody that I absolutely wasn't. I felt like I was trying so hard, yet felt so disingenuous, so inauthentic, so not me. But I was trying to do it because I was taking care of my little girl. I started in sales when I was 25. So I'm 32 now. That's 7 years ago. So she's 13. So she's 6. And her little 6-year-old face. And I'm trying to make sure that I can learn what to do in order for her to be taken care of. And I had this thought that was like, if I have to keep showing up like this to succeed, I'm going to hate myself. I'm going to hate my life. I'll still do it because it wasn't about me. It was about her. But I'm like, there has to be an easier way to figure this out. Why should I try to pretend to be somebody that I'm not, or try to push somebody into a sale, or trying to, I had flashcards. I would have all these flashcards that I'd be going through, hoping and praying that one of these magical objection handling phrases on these flashcards were going to help me close the deal. And I felt like there had to be another way that honored my softness and my strength, another way where I could sell and help somebody solve a problem, help somebody buy from me, and still feel like myself. And that's what I discovered, how to close with feminine energy. Okay. And literally when I was in sales, there was no women's sales training at all. It did not exist. It was not there. Did not exist at all. And so I had to learn everything from trial and error. So please take some of these notes and some of these things that I've learned over time, because it will save you freaking decades, and it will save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of frustration if you can learn some of the things, because it absolutely changes the game for you. You have to understand that feminine energy in sales is not about being passive. And I think a lot of times we think about feminine energy and we think about like somebody that is more soft, more meek, and not willing to do things, right? We think about, like, Jeremy always talks to me about like daddy's girl Barbies and then mommy's girls. And then mommy's girls are more like, oh, like, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to get dirty. And then like daddy girl Barbies are like willing to get dirty and willing to do things. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of these terms before. I think sometimes we think about feminine energy as like the mommy's girl, the unwilling to get dirty, unwilling to mess up, unwilling to make it happen, really, really soft, and unwilling to work hard. And I don't think it's that. I don't think being in your feminine is a sign of weakness. In fact, the softer you are as a woman, the more power that you hold. We as women if we try to prove our worth and prove our power and try to get the attention, that's not seen as powerful. It's seen as trying too hard. It's seen as somebody that's insecure, somebody that's working over the top in order for them to feel seen, in order for them to feel enough. That's not powerful. That's not powerful at all. Having feminine energy in sales is about being present. It's not about waiting with somebody. It's about inviting. Masculine energy is going to be more of like, hey, like I'm going to control this. That's why women, when we feel afraid, we go into control. We go into that masculine energy that does not serve us and does not serve the people that are around us. You know, if you've had that experience before where you ever felt scared about something and you wanted to know the outcome, you wanted to have the result, you try to go to control. Like that does not serve you at all. Feminine energy says, I trust myself and I hold space for somebody else. Now, am I unwilling to listen to somebody's BS story as to why they won't buy from me? Yes, I'm unwilling. I'm unwilling to listen to someone's BS story. I'm not going to fall on my own sword or diminish myself or diminish my light because I want to people please and because I want to make sure that I don't upset anybody. No, I'm going to own my boundaries and know my worth. And I have the right to speak up and use my big sister voice and show them things that they're not seeing and make them realize that if they don't buy from me, there's going to be consequences for them specifically. But I'm doing this with grace and I'm leading with grace. I still challenge, but I care. I still close, but I do it with clarity. And I do it with showing somebody that I can solve their problem versus pressure, manipulation, and pushing somebody to buy from you. You don't need to try that hard. Sales should not feel icky. It should not feel disingenuous. If it does, you're doing something wrong. It shouldn't feel like that. Think of masculine energy as like a train. It's direct, it's fast, it's focused. It's going to one place, one thing at a time. Feminine energy is like water. It adapts. It always finds its way through. It's intuitive. It listens. It sees the things that most people don't see. You know, I once had a woman on a sales call who told me, I'm so scared to buy this from you. I've done so many other things. I've tried so many different ways, like nothing's worked. And the old version of me, the one that was trained in a lot of masculine sales tactics, would have done what? Jumped in and tried to solve her issue, right? Try to objection handle. I would have tried to defend the program, shown testimonials, handle the objection, try to push her to do it anyways, try to handle all the fear at once, make her feel small in order for her to realize that she needs to buy. But instead, I just paused. I think there's power in a pause. There's a power in stopping before you start. There's a power in listening. I asked her for clarity as what was going on. I was trying to understand her perspective. Could I ask, what didn't feel safe about the other training programs you went through? What happened in those? And I get her to start to take responsibility for how she showed up in those training programs. The conversation became a doorway to her trust. She joined not because I pushed, but because I listened and because I held a mirror as to where she holds herself back. Typically, everyone has patterns. Really great salespeople can pick up on patterns. Patterns for how somebody is showing up. Patterns for how they interact with other people. Patterns are very, very important. If you can pick up on somebody's patterns, you can realize how they hold themselves back. If you can pick up on somebody's patterns, you can realize the objection that they're going to give you 20, 30 minutes into a call way before the end. Patterns are everything. If somebody's telling you that they're shopping around and, they've looked at 5 other things this week, what are they going to tell you at the end? I need to think about it. I'm still looking around. Because they have a decision-making problem. They probably have a trust problem. And if I don't know how to pick up on those patterns and to uncover those patterns halfway through the call, I'm going to be working 10 times harder than what is actually necessary in order for somebody to buy from me. Sales is supposed to be easy. Everyone makes it complicated. It's easy to do. It's hard to master. What about running? Think about running. Running is something easy to do. Everyone here knows how to run for the most part. Running for a long period of time, that's freaking hard. Running a triathlon, that's something you got to master. You can't just go out there and just do it unless you're David Goggins and you want to kill yourself trying to run a race. It is a continuous daily practice and getting your body ready and your mind ready and your stamina ready in order to do something like that. Same thing with sales. Sales is a continuous practice. It's easy to do, yet it takes time and consistency in order for you to really master the psychology behind this, for you to really understand what's going on in your prospect's brain and picking up on the patterns, so that you can get them to overcome their own BS in order to move forward to get what they want, which is the whole point of sales, for somebody to get their outcome. Sales is not about the thing. It's about the results of what the thing does. What outcomes do you give to your prospects? And can you stand for the outcome that they're looking for? Somebody said, I was so open about the product. The prospect wants to know everything about what it's going to cost me 4 hours and still had to discuss it with his wife. How do I keep it sweet and short? If somebody's asking you for the price right up front, you can't tell them and you can't sweep it underneath the rug. So if someone's like, hey, how much is this going to cost me? I can't be like, well, I can't tell you yet. Or, oh, I'll tell you at the end. Because then they are thinking the whole entire time, like, why isn't this person being honest with me? People have trust issues, especially in this day and age. Yeah, absolutely. We can go over pricing for sure. It really just depends on this, this, and this. Once I have a better understanding, we can go over some options for you. Would that help you? Yes. It's important. It's important that you're holding space. All right, let's look at the next. When I was talking to this woman as well, like in the story, she started crying. She started feeling so safe with me, and she realized that she was the person that's been holding her back this whole entire time. And if I was unwilling to hold that space and to drop in with her, she would have not had that aha realization. If you want as a tip here, drop the agenda. If your agenda is to get on a call to close a deal so that you can make the commission for today, you've missed the whole entire point of sales. And I understand that that must be really hard, especially if you need a sale. Like, I freaking get it. There have been many times in my life where I did not eat dinner and I fed my kid instead. And I didn't have anything. I remember those days, which is why I appreciate so much every time I go out to dinner and I sit down and have a nice ass dinner. I remember those moments. And there was many times where I really needed to make a sale. But if I made the sale about me, then I would miss the whole point of what sales is. Sales is service. It's about you serving somebody else. You don't need to be perfect. A lot of people believe the lie that you have to sound perfect on a sales call. Like it's fucking Toastmasters. It's not. You don't have to be perfect. Why? Because people see people that are trying to be perfect as fake and disingenuous. They see those people as trying to be perfect so that you can like me, so that you'll buy from me. People don't like salespeople. Want to be yourself, want to be real. I want you to listen to the fear underneath the objection. Any objection is a story or belief system that doesn't serve someone. It's uncertainty in their mind. And learn how to create safety in a conversation. That's what being in your feminine in a sales process does. It creates safety. You listening to someone. Think about men really quick. What do men love from a woman? They love to be understood by her. They love for her to listen to him and make him feel important and acknowledge him. Women don't acknowledge men enough. unfortunately. Women do not show appreciation to men enough. That's what men want. They want to feel appreciated by you. And we don't do that enough. That's that safety that we can create in any conversation to really see someone and make them feel important. We have that ability. It's a superpower. And you can do that in a sales conversation. I'm sure everyone that's listening to this right now, you want the ability for someone to see you and pay attention to you and make you feel important. That would be amazing. So it's up to us to create that in our sales conversations. You know, women and her feminine power can hold someone's fear without absorbing it. She knows where her energy ends and where her prospects begins. People are going to feel your groundedness and your self-trust, and they're going to be drawn to that energy. So another thing that's really important is you learn how to ground your energy. I don't know about you, but sometimes you might feel nervous on a sales call. You might feel awkward. Let's say somebody freaking cancels your call and you feel a sign of relief. That does not serve you whatsoever. You feeling anxiousness, fear, worry about reaching out to somebody, worried about prospecting anybody, all that stuff is your nervous system feeling dysregulated. And if you are anxious or worried, if you say something correct or do it right on a call, you're worried about yourself and you're not caring about your prospect. Yet again, sales is about service. So how can you regulate yourself? Before you get on any call, you need to have at least 5 minutes for you to calm down. If you're back-to-back in calls, like keep somebody in a freaking waiting room for 30 seconds as you do some breath work and calm yourself down. You need to allow yourself to take care of yourself before you can be there for anybody else. It's unfair of you to hold that. It's unfair of you to think that if you keep going and going and going and going and going, everything will be okay. Women are not built like that. You are not a man. For you to think that you can push yourself through the day and go, 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 and you're not going to burn out, that's crazy. Because my body doesn't produce testosterone like a man's does. A man produces testosterone every 24 hours. They wake up every day and they can go, go, go. As a woman, I have 4 different phases of a cycle that I go through every single month, where sometimes my body is not even my own. Sometimes I could be a raging bitch and I don't understand why. And my hormones are all over the place. And if you can't take that into account and give yourself a little grace as to what's going on, and you're expecting yourself to freaking perform like it's a freaking champion race every single day, you're going to be led to disappointment. Because sales was never built with women in mind. When sales first started, when trainings first started, when sales companies, started where they had sales reps, women couldn't even be in the workforce. Women couldn't even vote. So it'd be silly for you to hold yourself to the same standard. Now, instead of you thinking, how can I convince this person? I want you to start thinking, like, how can I understand this person better? Instead of saying, oh my gosh, like, what if they say no to me? What if they don't buy? How can you say, like, how can I serve this person regardless of the outcome? I want to trust in the lovely possibility unattached to any outcome. What if I was unattached to any outcome? That is called detachment. That is called being unbothered. How can you get better? You work on your skill. Increase your skill. Hold space, try to listen to somebody, get better at overcoming somebody's belief systems, learning the psychology. That's why we teach RED, real, empowering, disarming questions, really learning how to ask questions and understand what's happening inside of a prospect's brain so that you don't have to work so hard. I want my prospects to work hard. I don't want to work hard. I want to ask them questions to get them to overcome their own objections, overcome their own belief systems, and get them to realize that if they don't buy my product or service, it would be far more risky for them. There would be major consequences if they don't buy from me, because I know how to listen and care about somebody and understand where they're at. I know how to solve somebody's problems. I know how to find problems that this person doesn't even realize that they had. And I know how to show them why those problems are there and make them feel those problems at such a deep level where they want to do something about it and change it, therefore buying from me. There is a science to this. There is a process to this, but you don't have to work so hard where you kill yourself. I remember when I first started learning how to do this, where I stopped trying to prove that I could overcome these objections, and I started being more grounded and trying to really understand where someone was coming from, really trying to figure out where their problems are and asking really good questions. And I just started closing. There is a big difference from you going from working. I remember I would work all day at the office. I would leave my office at 6 p.m., drive to my daughter's school, pick her up from her after school program. I would come back to the office. I would stay at the office till 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes, because I told myself I would close a deal every single day, no matter what. And because we needed it. I was a single mom, trying to figure everything out. I had to close that deal. And for struggling for such a long time to be at a place where then I was closing, and I was closing what, like, 60% of all the calls I was getting on, closing deals every single day. And I wasn't working hard, and I had more energy, and it was easy. And just breaking down in tears of gratitude of like, oh my God, this is so different. Oh my God, what's possible here? The woman that I used to be, she felt like she had to twist herself and try to pretend to be someone else in order for somebody to take her seriously. And now being in a place where it was soft, it felt good, it felt real, it felt authentic. I really felt like I helped people that day. I hadn't pretend or had to lie in order for somebody to buy. Everyone gets to have that experience. You just need to remember you're born to sell like you, okay? When you sell in alignment with yourself, your presence and your energy become like magnetic. People can feel your intention, and they know that you're there for them, so that when you challenge their belief systems, this is the important thing. In order for you to have the ability to objection handle, for you to have the right to objection handle somebody, I don't think objection handling, you just get the privilege of doing that. You have to earn the right to challenge somebody. Otherwise, you're coming off as an asshole, okay? If you are talking to somebody and you've been grounded the whole time, you've understood their perspective, they feel like you are on their team trying to figure out how to solve the problem together, and you get to the end and they give you some type of objection, and you are now at a place where you challenge them and their belief system, they know you're doing it because you care about them, not because you're trying to close a deal. You've earned that right. You've earned the right to challenge. And if you do it from this state and you've earned that right, you can sit with them and challenge that perspective until they realize that they're the only person that's in their own damn way. Or if you're selling to, B2B, you're making them realize that if they don't buy from you, that there's going to be some type of big consequences for the company. They're going to buy from you. They will buy from you, and it's going to be so much easier than you've ever experienced before. If you feel like this spoke to you, I want you to make sure that you have people in your corner that will absolutely believe in you and help you get to the next level. I never had anybody in my corner. I had to figure this shit out all on my own. But you don't have to. I want you to learn how to sell in a way that actually feels aligned to who you are, and give you the training that actually works. You get to have that. I want you to DM me feedback, and let me see if I can try to get you on a call with somebody on my team so we can look at what the hell you're doing. I need to know your numbers. I need to know what's happening, what's your closing rate, what's going on. If it's your script, your tonality, something about you, like what is causing you not to close? What is causing you to hold yourself back? There's something that's happening. Otherwise, you would be closing higher than you are right now. If you're making money and you feel tired, exhausted, burned out, you don't have the tools to regulate yourself. You know, part of our training, what makes us so different is that we do sales training and we also do a lot of nervous system regulation, trauma breakthrough, because that's my background and that's what I love. I want you to make all the money in the world, but if you don't like yourself at the end of the day and you have a bunch of stuff emotionally or you've been through stuff that's holding you back, it will affect you. You got to get rid of that. So message me the word feedback. My team will help you get on a call, give you some next steps, give you some resources that's actually going to help you. You don't have to do this alone. Okay. You do not have to do this alone. You get to have the help. You get to have support if you want it. You know, learning how to love yourself enough to ask for support is everything. Don't be the person that just wings it, hopes and prays that everything will work out for you on your own. Like, no. The smartest people in the world, they learn from their mistakes, but the most intelligent people in the world, they learn from other people's mistakes. Don't take years to try to figure out how to do this. It doesn't have to take that long. You can get somebody that's been in your shoes before. They can show you what to do and completely change your perspective on how to close and how to sell and double or triple your closing rate. And you could be making more money for your family than you've ever thought imaginable. But it takes somebody that's willing enough to believe in you to show you what the hell to do. I promise you that I'm that person. DM me the word feedback. Hope that this actually helps you. You get to be in your feminine. Sales gets to be easy. Sales gets to feel good. And you, baby girl, you get to be powerful, graceful, and fully paid just by being your damn self. I love you. I honor you. I hope that this training was helpful. Please send everything to your friends. Bye, ladies. Bye, guys. Here you go, everyone. Yes, and